Well, hope everybody's having a good Thursday. Thank you for joining us. Um, wanted to say once again, thanks for um, Encompass. We're they're right in the thick of things. We're trying to prevent that. We're trying to make sure that you get the training that you need to perform your job at a good place. Today, before we get too started, we're going to have some Vulcan lock ring training. Here, I'll just put my hat on. It's easier that way. Some Vulcan lock ring training starting in the middle of September, going through the first week in October. Excuse me. So the first class is going to be 134A versus R600. Kind of an introduction to flammable refrigerant. Then the next one is going to be about how we properly use the lock ring tool so that we do not have any open flame and ignite the freon. So today's topic is how to properly check a microwave. Okay, we're going to jump right in. One of the other things that we're going to talk about later on is for the past probably 6 months, I've been talking about Easy Stop. One of the things that I had one of the technicians tell me was that they have it, and I keep talking about it, but I spend 5 to 7 minutes talking about it, and they already got it. So they're up to speed on it, so they don't need to hear that. So I've changed it so that now we're going to do it at the end of all of the trainings. Okay. So let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to start moving along. Okay. Basic microwave. Okay. So what's the benefits of a microwave? Okay. I can cook food. I can reheat food. I can pop some popcorn. I definitely don't want to use it on the fourth one that says 3. We definitely don't want to dry off any animals in the microwave. That's a bad thing. Okay, that's just a little attempted humor. I'm sure it was not funny, but so how does a microwave actually work? Okay, there's a magnetron tube, there's a transformer. So what happens is the power comes in. Okay, it goes to a step-up transformer once you input how much time you're going to use. If you're going to reheat, or if you're going to cook a potato, which is like here, you want to put in the time, the power level that you're going to use, and then hit the start button. The power goes up, goes through the step-up transformer, goes to the magnetron on high voltage, and then the magnetron sends a waves, and then you need the stirrer motor. Okay, it goes through the waveguide to the stirrer motor. The stirrer motor then radiates that microwave around the potato. One thing you want to make sure that you do is, if you are going to cook a potato in a microwave, I have to actually pierce the potato. Okay. So I put about 8 or 10 fork holes. I take the fork and stick it all the way in about 8 or 10 times. Okay. That makes it so that the potato works properly. Okay. And the reason I'm telling you this is because the question is, can I cook a microwave can I cook an egg in a microwave? Okay. So as long as you remove the shell, and then you have to pierce the yellow, okay, because that egg is in 2 membranes, okay. If you don't pierce those membranes, which is taking the egg out of the shell, pierces one, then I have to pierce the yolk portion of it, okay. If I don't do that, we have a small problem that occurs. Okay, that's right there is what happens if I put an egg in the microwave and turn it on. Okay, what happens is the water inside the egg that heats up too rapidly. Okay, that turns it into steam. The steam doesn't have an easy escape. The pressure builds up, and then the egg will explode. Okay, the pressure of it is exasperated by the egg structure, since eggs have a thin membrane that seals the liquid inside. Okay, that is exactly what happens if I just take an egg and put it in the microwave. It will explode. Okay, what tools do I need to work on a microwave? Okay, I need a meter that will test. Okay, you can use an amp, a multimeter. You can use an amp probe. You just have to make sure that it can check capacitance. Okay. On it, along with that, I'm going to need some assorted hand tools. I'm going to need some specialty bits. I'm going to need a microwave. I'm going to need a microwave leak detector. I'm going to need a 9-volt battery. Okay. And then I probably, which is not on here because I just thought about it, I probably want to find a pair of needle nose pliers. Okay. Whenever I'm going to whenever I'm pulling wires off, I want to make sure that I use the needle nose so that I don't break the wiring in there. Okay. This is the 2 meters that I'm talking about. Both of these will check capacitance. You got to be able to check capacitance. If you don't, you can't check the capacitor. Okay. The capacitor, if you can't tell if the capacitor is working properly, then you're not going to be able to fix the microwave all the time. All right. One of the other things, like you're going to need a set of hand tools. This is just your basic set of hand tools. You can spend anywhere from $49 up to about a little bit over $1,000 just for hand tools. That's just for this little set from right here. Okay, this is a set of top lines. I'm not real happy with the screwdrivers in it. I actually went to Harbor Freight and bought a set of screwdriver assorted different sizes. And it cost me $12. It was better than the ones that were here. Okay. The other thing that I want you to make sure that you have is you need a mat. Okay. I want to put my tools on something or put them in the floor. They need to be so that you're not gonna cause any damage to the customer's home. One of the things that happened is I had whenever I was one of the managers, I had a technician just sling his tools up on top of a countertop that happened to be it wasn't a Formica countertop. This was a granite countertop. He scratched the countertop, and it cost me a chunk of money to have the guy come out and fix the countertop so that it didn't show. Okay. So it's a whole lot easier just to take you a mat, or I had a towel. It doesn't matter. Just something to put under your tool pouch. And when you spread tools out, you need to be able to lay them down so that you can not cause any damage to the customer's home. Okay. Here's my cordless drills. Like, once again, you can look, there's one that's $29 right there. And then you got the Milwaukee set that comes with an impact driver, and that one is $899. It's a wide variety of what I can use to repair. I can do just as much as with a $29 drill as I can with the $900 drill. Okay. Now the one on the $29 drill is probably not going to last me as long as a Milwaukee. But on the other hand of that, I don't have to. If I break it, I'm out $29. So do I have to check a microwave for leakage? Okay. I have put this right here because microwave check to verify compliance with the federal performance standard should be performed on every microwave, okay, to before you release it to the owner. So if I'm out on a call, I need to check the microwave for microwave leaks, okay? So why am I doing that? Okay, I'm doing that to make sure that the safety checks are performed, okay? I want to make sure that I'm not getting any microwaves going out into the air, because if I have a leakage and I have somebody come by, I don't have one, have a pacemaker on, and I have microwave leaks, I can interrupt the pacemaker. It will mess it up bad. Okay. So before turning the microwave power on for service or inspect with the microwave generating components, okay, I'm going to check. I'm going to check the magnetron, the waveguide, the transformer, the cavity for proper alignment, integrity, and connections. After the defective or misaligned components in the interlock, monitors, door seal, and the microwave generator and transmission systems shall be repaired, replaced, or adjusted. Basically, I'm going to check this whole microwave to make sure that everything is within compliance. Okay. This is a basic microwave schematic. Okay. If I run into an electrical problem, if I can't read a schematic, I need to go stop, go back, and find somebody that can show me how to read the wire schematic. I need to go take a course on basic schematics. There, we offered a course on basic schematics. There was a option 1 and option 2. We did that probably, I think that was long about this time last year. But if we need one, if you'll send me a text message that you think you need one, I will get those old ones and I'll at least send you a copy of them. Okay. So if you can't read the wiring schematic, you don't need to be working on a microwave. You can get killed if you don't know what you're doing on a microwave. I had a young technician literally blow himself through a sheetrock wall. Okay. He didn't work for almost a year because he was brand new. The technician that was assisting him told him not to touch anything. He would be right back, and don't be monkeying around. Well, he started monkeying around with something, got on the high voltage line going from the transformer to the magnetron, and it literally blew him through the wall. Okay. Please do not work on a microwave if you can't read a wiring schematic. You can buy a book. They have them on Amazon has them. You can actually they have some good ones out there that you can learn how to read a wiring schematic. If you can't read a wiring schematic, you definitely don't need to be working on a microwave. You're going to have to pardon me because I have a sore throat. I traveled last week, and evidently I had a small child coughing on me, and I think the child had a cold, and now I've got a sore throat and a cold. So some of the basic reasons for a microwave not to heat. Okay. What can we think of? Okay. So one of the reasons that we have a no heat, it could be that one of the common things is it depends on how old the microwave is. The capacitor could be defective. It could have a bad magnetron. You could have something as simple as a door switch that was simply misaligned. I've had that, and keeps it from heating. Okay, so that's some of the basic things that I can think of right off the top of my head. There's a bunch of others that you need. So one of the things that I want to do whenever you first come in, okay, and you walk into the call, okay, you're going to verify the no heat situation. Okay, how am I going to verify the no heat situation? Okay, one of the things that I'm going to do to verify my no heat situation, I have a little small light bar that I put in a microwave and it lights up. You've got to have something inside of the microwave to see if it works, to see if the magnetron is working. You can use a beaker, you can use a cup of water. You just got to put water, you got to put something in the microwave. You don't run a microwave empty, is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. After I've verified that I don't have any heat at all, what am I going to do? Okay. The first thing I've got to do is I've got to remove the cover. Okay. On most microwaves, there is at least one screw that is a specialty screw that you have got to have. What will happen is it's made so that anybody can't get in the microwave. Okay. What will happen is there's a Torx head, but in the center of the Torx head is a pin. Okay. So you've got to have that specialty pin tool to be able to take the screw out. Okay. So I'm going to remove this cover. Whenever I remove the cover, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to open the door to the microwave and I'm going to look at the switches. Okay. Usually you can look at the switches and you can listen whenever you're closing the door and you can hear the switches click. Okay. I always had a little small screwdriver that I could stick in there and check the switches to see if the switches were good. Okay. If the switches are good, then I'm going to look around. I'm going to look for something obvious. Okay. Before I do anything else, though, I'm going to discharge the capacitor. Okay. I do not want to get into a microwave without discharging the capacitor. If I do that, I run the risk of getting shocked. Okay. If you don't discharge that capacitor holds a charge. There's a lot of bleed resistors that are out there now that are helping but you still got to check it to make sure that it has no capacitors. We're going to go through how to check a capacitor a little bit later. So we're going to keep going from that. Okay. Like I said, the first thing that I look at is the door switches. Okay. One thing that I'm going to do after I've discharged the capacitor, I'm going to unplug the power the first thing that I do actually before I remove the cover is I'm going to unplug the microwave itself. Okay. I don't want any power going to this. Okay. So I'm unplugged the power wire off the transformer is the next thing that I'm going to do. Okay. After I've checked the door switches, unplug the power, okay, off the transformer. I'm going to verify voltage to the transformer. If I get no voltage with the low side, I'm going to check the door switches over again. Okay. I'm also going to check the overload and the wirings that are out there. Because if I have an overload that has popped, I will not get any power to the transformer. Okay. So, like I said, if I've verified that I'm getting no power to the transformer, okay, that tells me that I have a low side issue. Okay. So I'm going to check, like I said, the door switches, the overload, and the wirings. Okay. So if I have 120 volts, whenever I check it, and I have that 120 volts that I have going to the transformer. Okay, I'm going to have to check the capacitor, the diode, and the magnetron. That's all the things that are on the high voltage side. Okay, so I'm going to have to, like I said, I'm going to have to check the transformer. I'm going to have to check the capacitor. I'm going to have to check the diode, and I'm going to have to check the magnetron. Most of the time, in my experience, a lot of problems exist around the diode. Okay. So if the first, whenever I go and I go to hit something, go to check something, that's probably I'm going to check that transformer. Okay. So I'm going to repair the issue. Then I'm going to reinstall the cover, and then I'm going to perform a leak check while the unit is in operation. Okay, I'm going to check around where the magnetron is. I'm going to check around the door. I'm going to check everything that I can check that we've already discussed is where we want to go. Okay, so we talked about discharging the capacitor. That's the first thing that I'm going to do. Okay. So I'm going to have to ground this capacitor. Okay. So I ground my two leads. You see them right there. Okay. I can use two insulated screwdrivers. Always insulated. If I have a pair of insulated needle nose, I can do that. All right. You just want to make sure that you don't get shocked as a technician. Okay. You have got to have something that has a rubber handle. Okay. To prevent your shock. If you do have a lot, if the capacitor is charged, you're going to get a pop. So be aware that you're going to get a loud pop. It'll scare you. I still, every once in a while, don't even think about it because it's basically basic knowledge to me. But I'll forget about it. I'll forget that it's really charged sometimes. Okay, so make sure that you're checking you're discharging that capacitor before you send it out. Okay. Well, my question is, how do I check the capacitor? All right. So I'm going to read the side of the capacitor. Okay. It tells me how many microvariates there are. Okay. It tells you right there. As you can see, that I have the capacitor and then I have the red wires, and then it tells me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this because this capacitor told me that it was, I think that's one Fahrenheit, one F, and I have a plus or minus 3 variant. Okay, so this one shows a 1 with a 3% variant. So I'm going to set my multimeter, okay, to check my capacitor. I'm going to change this to capacitance on my meter. Okay, I'm going to place the meter leads on each of the capacitance terminals and take a reading. Then check from the one set of terminals to the cap case, and then to the other set in the cap case. Okay, that way I'm checking to see if this capacitor has grounded out. Okay, read the meter. The reading should be 1 plus or minus 0.03 microvariates for this capacitor. If either higher or lower than 3% or nothing shows up on the case of in case it's grounded, okay, I'm gonna replace this capacitor. But you don't need to just go in there and say, "Oh, I need a capacitor." You'll end up with a problem. As I've said before, the first thing that I really usually check is, you can see this one right here I had the technician hold it up for me. See how it's split there in the center? That's telling me that I got a bad capacitor right there. Okay, so this diode is bad. So I'm going to make sure that I replace this diode. Okay, after removing the diode, look for visible signs of damage. You can check it with a 9-volt battery and a multimeter to confirm that it's working properly. One thing about a diode, it only works one way. You have got to make sure that you have it right. Okay. So how do I check the diode? Okay. Here's a short way to check it. You need a 9-volt battery. Okay. I'm going to check it for continuity. Remember, the diode only shows continuity in one direction, which we've already been over. Okay. If it doesn't show continuity from both sides, then you need to replace the diode. Like I said, most of the time you can look at the diode and tell that the diode is bad because it'll be cracked or it'll smell burned. You can get a really bad burn smell. That tells me that the diode's bad. Okay. So let's talk about checking the high voltage from the transformer to the magnetron. Okay. Remove terminals and check the primary side. The primary side is the larger gauge wire. Okay. I'm going to set my multimeter to 200 ohms, place the lead on both terminals, and then I should read between 0.5 and 1.5. It needs to be less than 2. Okay. It depends on what kind of meter you have. If you have a meter that looks like this, okay, that's fine. If you have one of the new meters, where's my new meter? It's my box of meter leads. Where is my new meter? This is not good. I have misplaced my new meter. Okay. But the new meter, it actually tells me right there what it is. On this one, okay, on this one right here, I have to look right here and I have to set it to the right, set it. So I need 200 ohms. Okay. So I'm going to come down here to the ohm scale. I'm going to dial in 200, which is right here. Okay. And then I'm going to check it. But I still need to be watching this display to tell me that I have 0.5 up to less than 2. Okay. Now I got to turn my meter off. You want to still first. That's the other thing you need to make sure about your meter. Never leave your meter on, or else you end up burning the battery up. My new meter that I bought actually recharges, so the battery doesn't go bad. I just recharge it. But if I didn't turn it off before and it's dead, I can't check anything with it. So you need to make sure that your meter is up to ready to work. Okay. So after I do the 200 ohms, I'm going to turn the meter to the highest setting. Check one side to ground, ensure that there is no coating on the transformer. Okay. I'm going to scratch it. Usually what I do is I always have a little tiny screwdriver in my pocket, and I'll pull out my little screwdriver and I'll scratch it right there on the transformer. Okay. And then that gives me a good ground. Okay. That way that makes sure that because on that transformer, you are actually going to definitely, most transformers have a coating on them. So you need to make sure that you can scratch down and get a good ground on that. Okay. And that way, if I get a reading on either side, then it's shorted to case and it needs to be replaced. Okay. You got to short it to ground. Okay. If no meter, I move over to the other side of the primary windings. I'm going to repeat the process, okay, that you did with the primary, with the other gate, with the other side, okay. The primary side, I'm going to move over to it. I'm going to repeat the process as you did with the other side of the transformer. One side has protective sleeve over the terminal end, and the other one will be bare with no protection over the terminal. The meter should have the same readings as before. If I don't, and I test it, and I don't, and I get a ground to it, I'm going to need to replace the transformer again. Okay. Then after I do that, I'm going to move to the secondary windings. Okay. Your secondary windings are your high voltage windings. Okay. Those are very small, or they're very, compared to the other ones, they're very small. Okay. It's a smaller gauge wire. I'm going to check the terminal to the ground. I'm going to make sure that the location is exactly the same as the previous test. I'm going to set my meter lead again to 200 ohms, and I should get between 80 to 120. Okay. If it falls within that range, I have a good transformer. If it's not between 80 and 120, I have a bad transformer, and I'm going to have to replace that transformer. Okay. The magnetron. Okay. We had talked about the overloads. Okay. There's two different overloads. Okay. Usually there's one that is on the case, somewhere on the case. You're going to have to follow your wire schematic to it unless you worked on it before and you know exactly where it is. I'm going to follow that wire all the way down and find oh, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and find that overload. Okay. That's one that's on the case. The other overload goes to the magnetron. There's attached to the side of the magnetron. Okay. If that one is bad, I have to replace it, or if the other one's bad. But that's in the low voltage side. Okay. So checking the wires to the magnetron. Okay. I'm going to disconnect them. I'm going to turn the meter to the lowest ohm settings. I'm going to place the leads on both sides of the magnetron. The magnetron should read somewhere between 0 and 0.5 ohms. Okay. If the meter display doesn't change, then the mag needs to be replaced. But here's something that you need to remember. A lot of the times, I have had that everything checked fine and the magnetron was bad. Okay. You just have to, if I've checked everything else and I can't find anything else that is wrong with this microwave, I'm gonna look and see if it's the magnetron. Okay. So one of the other things that you want to make sure that you do is you want to check it to ground also. Okay. So the like I said, you just want to make sure that the magnetron you're checking it right. Okay. So the overload is in the low voltage side, so that you won't get that power going to the transformer. So this could be one of your problems right here. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Boy, today was a short class, and I'm glad because my throat is killing me. Okay. I'm gonna exit full screen. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm gonna ask if you want to learn your Encompass Easy Share app. Go ahead and stay on. I'm going to try to get the Easy Stop app to pull up over the internet so that I can get. Yes, Denise Saffron. Hello. I am with you. How can I help you? Do you have a question, Denise? The switches. What about the switches? They're either normally open or normally closed. You'll have to look at the switch itself to tell you whether it's normally opened or normally closed. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to measure put my meter leads on there, and all I do is click, and if I depress the switch and it doesn't show show continuity or either no continuity through it, depending on whether it's normally open or normally closed, I've got a bad switch. Did that answer your question, Denise? The switches control the low side. The only thing that controls the high side is the transformer. Okay, if it's got no power, then you're not going to get it. Yes, one is called the monitor. Okay, so here, let's go back. Since you have a question, let's go back here. Okay, let's go back to this right here. Okay, this is your wiring schematic. Okay, there are, here I'm trying to find the door switches. Low voltage relay. Where are my door switches? Problem is, this thing is so bad, I can't even read the door switches. But yeah. So, does anybody else have any questions? This will actually be available on the Encompass training website. You can find them. You can find it there. All the old trainings are available there. There is a reading wiring schematics that is out there that will probably help you out a whole lot, Denise. If you have questions, I would refer you to that. And I'm trying to see if where I've got it in my stuff here. I was trying to find out what it was called. So give me basic schematic diagrams is what it was called. Okay. And then using wiring diagrams to check the unit is another one that we did. But basic schematic diagrams, it's on my other one. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Sorry. Okay. If nobody has any other questions, let me see if I can get the Easy Stock app to load, and we're going to go ahead and we'll talk about Easy Stock here for just a minute. Okay. Pause this. Go play. Nope. Okay. So, all right. Well, if you go to Easy Stock, like I said, a lot of people, most of the people, everybody already knows all about Easy Stock. Easy Stock is a program that you can go and keep track of all of your stock that you have in your truck, in your warehouse. It will do everything. If you go in and type in Encompass Easy Stock app, okay, that will take you directly to the Easy Stock app. Okay. The thing about the thing about the Easy Stock app that I really like, I can't say enough good about Easy Stock, is that if I'd have had this whenever I was a technician, I would have really been on top of my game a whole lot better than I am now, than I was whenever I started. Whenever I started, there was no internet. Okay, you guys have a huge advantage over an old guy like me. Okay, we didn't have the internet. The internet was not even around whenever I was doing all this. Now there's apps that you can do anything with. Okay, Easy Stock. I can go in and I can assign my parts to my van in a bin location, and I know exactly where my parts should be. Okay, I can assign a part if I have different trucks. Let's say I have 3 trucks. Okay, one of the things that I always found was, no, I don't necessarily have the exact same part on every single truck, because some of my guys would work in a high end, okay, and they would have the KitchenAids and the Bosch and all of the high end brands, okay, and then we had the people that lived where I did, and we were the low end brands, and that was the Frigidaire, the the tap in, the lower brands. So I didn't have trucks. What I did as a manager, I took and ran a report, okay, and I saw exactly what had been used in the past year, okay, and I could tell when it was used. So let's take out uh, let's take December. Okay. December, I'm going to have a different truck stock than I do with the other, because I don't have as many refrigerators going bad because it's not the heat of the year, and I have more ovens and microwaves, and so I used to swap my parts around so that everybody had a basic stock, okay? But I would make sure that my oven parts, my range parts, my microwave parts, I concentrated more of those on the months from starting like October to February to March. Okay. And then I started transitioning in my refrigerator, my freezer, all those kind of items. I kind of concentrated on that. But I can run a report, which I can do with Easy Stock. Okay. I can run a report that tells me exactly what I have used and when I used it. Okay. So I can plan. That's one of the things that you need, is being a manager or an owner, is I need to be able to plan what I need. If I can't afford to make more than one trip. The one thing you can't do is afford to make 4 trips. Okay, you need to make sure it was done the first time, and that I've taken and I've got all the parts that I need to go fix this thing. So what I used to do as a technician, I knew about what I had in my truck. We got our calls the for tomorrow. I would get them at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They would come over my don't everybody laugh, uh, my fax. Okay, I had fax. They would tell me my calls and what I was going to work on. I would then go out to my van, look at my parts to look at it and say, "Hey, I want to make sure that I've got these parts in my truck." Okay. If I don't have the right part, I need to either figure out a way to get that part before I run the call, or call the customer and say, "Okay, ma'am, I'm going to come down. I'm going to come out, but I think I'm going to need this, and I may not. I may not have it. I don't have that on my truck. Do you want to reschedule for another day? I leave it up to the customer. I'm more than happy to come out and check it, but I want to make sure that you understand that I think I'm probably going to need this part that I don't have on my truck. Do you want to reschedule it? And then I'll get you up. It'll take me 2 days to get it, and I will make sure that I'll get you scheduled for 2 days out, and wherever you want to be on the call list. Okay, so I with Easy Stock, I know what parts I should have. Okay, if I know that I've got this part, I'm going to excuse me. I'm going to I know where it's located in my truck because I can partition things off with Easy Stock so that I can put it on. My van that I had 3 shelves on the very back, 4 shelves on the front right behind my driver's seat, and then I had another 3 shelves on the passenger side that was behind the wheel well, and then I had a little stackable box that had all my little miscellaneous parts like a microwave switch, door switch, a switch for a refrigerator, and I had those labeled and put down. Okay, that's great, but with Easy Stock, I've got it right here on my handheld. I look at my phone and I said, okay, this should be in bin number 1, shelf number 2. Okay. And I can go right to that and take it out, and I don't spend time looking for it. I mean, whenever I first started out as a technician, I had a hodgepodge. Okay. It took me a couple of years to figure out that I was wasting way too much time because I didn't know where my stock was. So as a technician, I am not getting paid enough because I'm spending way too much time looking for parts. So I take my Easy Stock program. I know what I've got on my truck when I'm standing there talking to the customer. Okay. As I'm standing there talking to the customer, I can say, okay, Miss Jones, I've got that part on my truck. Let me go get it. And then you go get it and you fix it. Okay. First time completes. You can't not make any money at all if I don't have first time completes. Okay. Every company that I have ever worked for, if I didn't have a certain percentage of first time completes, I was the first. The first one was a warning. Second one was a write up. The third one, they dismissed me. Okay. Oh, Denise, to answer your question, what will the microwave not do? It won't get any power to the transformer. Okay, but so getting back to what I apologize, Denise, I didn't see where you'd put it right there. Okay, um, the I want to make sure that I have as many first time completes as I can. If I have 100%, that used to be what I shot for every day, 100% completion. Am I going to get that? No, I know that going in, I'm probably going to miss one. Every once in a while, you get 100% day, and them are the days that you want to go out and celebrate because you as a technician did everything that you did correctly. Okay, so please use Easy Stock. One of the other things about Easy Stock is, let's say that I have some parts that are left over and I have no idea where I got them from. I can still scan those into the system for Easy Stock and put it in the bin where it belongs. So it's even so that it's working for the technician, even though I may not have bought it at Encompass. The one thing you have to have is you have to have an account with Encompass. Okay. It's the only thing with Easy Stock. You have to have an account. I will tell you that was the best thing that I could have had, was something that helped me. All it is a tool, just like a screwdriver or a wrench. Easy Stock is a tool. The more you get proficient in it, the better you're going to be. Let's say I have a set of tools that I don't keep on every single truck. As a business owner, I can't afford it. I'll give you a perfect example. Whenever it first came out, an air sled was about $1,800. I could not afford to keep an air sled on every single truck, but we needed to know where that air sled was. At $1,800, you better bet that I know where that air sled is. And if you tell me that you don't have it, I'm going to say it's checked out to you right here. Where is my air sled? And if not, then I'm going to have to charge you for it. Okay. So anytime that I have parts that I don't have on every single truck, I want to still be able to keep track of that. Easy Stock will help me do that. Okay. If you guys have any more questions, please, if you're going to call me, don't call me, text me. Okay. You can send me an email. There's my email right there. Reggie is your rep. Call Reggie. Okay. If you're in one of the other areas like Dallas, there you got a rep right there. Paul's the man to come and talk to you. Okay. And I apologize. I do not know every single rep. The only places that I have been is Dallas and to Lawrenceville. So if you should know your rep. If you don't know your rep, call Reggie, text Reggie, send Reggie an email. Reggie will get you your rep's name, phone number, email. They want you to use them. I mean, plain and simple. There are other parts houses out there. Okay. I know some ones that are okay. I know some ones that are good, but these guys are great. These guys right now are providing training to you at no cost. Nobody else in the industry does that. Okay. Now, if I'm an Electrolux certified installer, or a technician, yeah, I get training from Electrolux, but how often do you get that? Maybe once a quarter. We have these once to twice a week. Okay. This is a virtual. We have stuff that's coming up. There will be a class in Lawrenceville that is just for technicians to come in, and it doesn't matter if I work on just Whirlpool, or if I work on Samsung, or if I work on whatever brand. It doesn't matter. These are free, and it doesn't require you to be certified for that brand. Okay. The only difference that where they charge right now is for R600, the lock ring class. Okay. That is an expense that we're having to have having to charge for. Okay. Because of the tools that are used, the fittings that we use. So we have to charge for that class. Okay. But that's the only class that we have that they charge for. All of these are free. I'm telling you that Encompass is trying to get your business. They want to be your number one. Give me 1 second. You can go to Encompass Training. Okay. If you go to if you go to solutions.encompass.com and then scroll over to the side, and it has an Encompass Training. Okay, scroll down. Let's see. August the 1st. Those are old. Let's see. There's today. In-person training, Davie, Florida is one that is going to be on Samsung and GE appliance troubleshooting. Let's see, R600. This one is mine. Virtual training. Okay, virtual. Virtual. Okay, so that's what is next this month is Samsung, and that's down in Davie, Florida. I'm trying to find the one that I just saw for LG Hoshizaki. That's me. Okay, PMP. That's me. GE refrigerator. Refrigerator. You know what? I could have sworn that I saw one that was. I'm sorry, I may have been mistaken. I could have sworn that there was one that was for this month that was in. Maybe it was already done. Hang on, let me go back down over here. Give me 1 second. Virtual. Oh, here it is. Electrolux Frigidaire Fall Training, intermediate level. This is on August 28th. It's from 8 to 3. I knew that I saw that. Okay. Did you get that, Denise? So that is August the 28th. Okay. It's Electrolux Frigidaire training. Okay. Like I said, go to Encompass, the Encompass training website, which is, hang on, I'm just going to do this right here. Let's see. Come back over here. Put in Control V. Okay, here's the website. Okay, if you'll put that in, that'll show you where the trainings is going to be, and it also shows every single one of the ones that are coming up. Okay. So, does anybody else have any questions? We still have 4 people here. I want to thank everybody for their time. Like I said, Encompass wants to be your parts supplier. Basic. That's basic. You know what? We provide more whenever we can. You know, we used to have a few more in-house trainings. Those get it really expensive. We're not charging for those right now. So we have to make sure that the technicians are there. I can tell you that if you register, please show up. Okay. I had one training that I had down in Florida, and we literally had it set up, and there were supposed to be 15 people there. 5 people showed up. Okay. Whenever you register, please either let somebody know, or show up. You know, like I said, this is not at any charge to you. So make sure that you do your due diligence as a technician to show up. That way we can keep providing these for free and not charging. Okay. Everybody, I want you to everybody have a wonderful day. If you've got calls to run, please be safe out there. I can already tell you that the reason I have a sore throat is because I traveled on my way back home at 2:00 in the morning. I had a blowout, so please, I was lucky. I want to make sure that everybody has a great day. Thank you, Denise. I'm going to go out here and try to repair the damage to my truck from where the tire blew out. So everybody have a great day, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Goodbye.